It's Expensive Being Poor by Shuck. A man, let's call him Daniel, was born into grinding poverty. His parents were poor, and their parents were poor. Daniel's dad died young in an industrial accident. The compensation package didn't cover the legal fees. Daniel's mom slaved for 70 hours each week, but barely earned enough to pay the bills. Daniel grew up in one of the richest countries in the world, but all those riches were out of bounds, as real and relevant to Daniel as the flickering images on his old TV screen. Daniel's mom had a favorite saying, "It's expensive being poor." And Daniel learnt the meaning of those words by witnessing every cruel eviction and each spiraling debt. His mom dropped dead, leaving Daniel 16 and destitute. And though he tried his best, he found himself, at 20, jobless, homeless, and without the price of a cheap cup of coffee. So in desperation, Daniel summoned the devil. And she materialized alongside her lawyer to strike a deal. $100 million. All Daniel had to do in return was live for 40 years. If Daniel didn't, then his soul was forfeit. Daniel planned to sample the good things in life, dining at the finest restaurants and sitting in the sweetest seats at sporting events. But as his first day as a rich man began, he was instantly struck with 1,000 troubling thoughts. Every person he'd pass in the street could be a mugger prepared to slide a knife between Daniel's ribs. Every car could be driven by a drunk. There were a million ways Daniel could die before 40 years were through. So Daniel set about safeguarding his future. He bought a home which resembled a fortress and hired the best doctor money can buy to care for Daniel around the clock. Daniel slipped into an unrelenting routine of checkups, blood tests, and faddish diets. The years passed by in an anxious drag, more maddening with each day Daniel grew closer to the 40 years he needed to complete. He invested shrewdly and eagerly awaited his golden years. Finally, Daniel's Cartier clock struck midnight after 40 years, and he fell to his knees. "What torment!" he sobbed to his doctor. 40 years, and I haven't lived a day." "Indeed," said the devil, who materialized alongside her lawyer. "Not one day. Your doctor will bear witness. He owes me. He's not a good man. He's stolen all of your fortune. I understand that the banks are repossessing your home at 9 a.m. Daniel roared in anger in the legal shenanigans, but the devil wouldn't back down. "It's red tape, I'm afraid," she tutted. "The devil's in the detail. But worry not. Your soul is still your own, if you can live for 40 years. So an old, penniless man staggered outside into scorching sunshine, every breath of wind agony and arms parched by 40 years spent behind locked doors. He shuddered as he heard the devil's thunderous chuckle, as she wondered if he could reach the age of 100.